Hello Internet, my name is TheRadams97 and this is Rome Total War. This is a big online 2v2 multiplayer battle that I did some time ago, but I decided let's upload the replay to YouTube so that everyone can enjoy this thing. When I say everyone, I mean the few people that will probably watch this. So what we have is me playing as the British with a Parthian ally versus a House of Julii Roman enemy and a Macedonian enemy. So I'm going to start this playing whilst I look over the army comp because the start of the battle is just some redeployment. So I am bringing, I believe that's 4 units, sorry, nope, that's 3 units. I should have checked this beforehand really, but oh well, I can't be asked. So 3 units of slingers, and I believe that is 3 units of warband, which are some light spears. I've got 2 units of head hurlers, 3 units of heavy chariots, 2 units of druids, and my warlord chariots. My Parthian ally is bringing an entirely cavalry focused army, which is not what you want when you're fighting a Macedonian phalanx army, but oh well. He did well, I've got to give him credit. So he's got, his general is in one of these units of cataphracts, but 5 units of cataphracts by the looks of it. 1 unit of these Bearden warriors, whatever that is, they're basically camel riders, and 2 units of Persian cavalry, so skirmish cavalry. So it's very small army on his side, but very efficient with those cataphracts. My Macedonian enemy is bringing a lot, and I do mean a lot, of phalanx infantry, but he's got some Macedonian cavalry all over the place. It's got a lot of archers as well. Mostly it's got 3 units of I think that is 1 unit of normal archers, and then 2 units, and then 2 peltas. Then all but 1 of these units of phalanxes are royal pikemen. 1 of them is phalanx pikemen. And then for my Roman enemy, well, there's also some more Macedonian cavalry there. He's got 4 units of legionary cohorts, 2 units of Roman archers, I believe it is 2 units of Praetorian cavalry, and a Roman armoured general. So now that the battle is starting to move into post-deployment, he's put his legionary cohorts into Testudo, and he's moving his cavalry around to the right to intercept my chariots. Unfortunate, as you can see also, I made a very big mistake here. I don't know how I managed it, but I somehow missed my head hurlers out when I was redeploying my army to the side. Now, I didn't notice this cavalry charge until it was too late, and as you can see, my chariots aren't going to do very well here. I'm going to lose most of my chariots at this very early stage, which cost me very dearly. But in the focus there, I was able to slip 1 unit out of the 3 around, and they got away from the cavalry, and before they could respond, these were hammering away at his line. Although I foolishly went after his cohorts instead of his archers, as you'll see. So they're going to hit the archers to start with, and then they end up going after the cohorts. I'm going to play this forward at the fast forward speed, simply because it is a long battle, so things like this I'm just going to gloss over quickly. But they're going to break and run away. His cavalry are going to come in for a charge, and I'm going to set my warband spears up to respond. Now, all I had to do was just hold them there, and eventually they should be able. My thinking was they should be able to win eventually. So, the rest of my army is going to ignore that, and I'm going to start moving my... Oh, I don't think I mentioned this in my deployment. I have 2 units of chosen swordsmen. I can't remember, which I don't know how I could have missed them. They're really important to my army, since they're my best infantry. So yeah, skip forward again. As you can see, I'm moving up some of my slingers to the side, away from those cavalry, to get some attacks. Bit of early skirmishing off on these advancing legionaries. Now, for some reason, he set these 2 cohorts to go ahead of these 2, and he's going to see that's not going to go too well for him as you really would expect, especially since he's got them in testudo, and well, he keeps them in testudo, as you'll see. So his cavalry are going to come in for another go at my army. But at this point, I think he notices that I've left my head hurlers. Yeah, marching. This is where I realise, when I see them veering off to the side, I've left a bit of my army behind. Yeah, it hurt. So while his cavalry are over there, I send my one of my units chosen swordmen in to go deal with these oncoming legionaries, and he seems to just ignore them and try and get them to keep marching in testudo, which I just don't understand, because when they're in that formation they can't fight that well, so these chosen swordsmen, who are really good people, are going to just have them, as you'll see. Then I move my other unit of swordsmen in on the other legionary unit, and those guys are just going to get butchered. So I'm going to skip forward now, because all it is some of the animations from Rome 1 of the fighting. But yeah, his archers are going to start firing, so I'm going to take the chariots that I have that rallied. I don't know, that's not even them, that's my warlord chariot. So I'm going to send my warlord up to go and attack, and oh yeah, the chariots that rallied are going to go after his cavalry. But yeah, look, 1 unit of legionary break-in. Now, I did lose a fair few of these swordsmen in this engagement, but he lost his entire cohort, so I'd say worth. So, if you hadn't figured out by now, our plan was really between me and my Parthian ally, because he knew with his small cavalry army up against a Macedonian phalanx, he doesn't really stand a chance on his own. So he wanted me to try and quickly take out this Roman opponent, who fortunately did only bring a very small army, whilst he focused down the Macedonian cavalry and archers to make it much easier for the 2 of us to work together to bring down this Macedonian threat. And as you can see, I'm doing a good job here. I've now got brave and sent my warband in to the fight against the legionary cohorts, but because they were still in testudo at the time, we've managed to catch them and completely surround them. And my druids are going to start using their chant in a minute, just to make these guys fight harder and then fight less hard. And it looks like he's just trying to march them through there. There was a lot of things I just didn't understand about this person, and here come my head throwers, just tearing into that, and that's going to make them break. Oh, it's going to do a lot, because these head hurlers are so good. Okay, they tried to probe a peeler, but don't know what happened there. But yeah, right, so just sending my big unit of warband to finish him off, and as you can hear, there's chanting. These guys don't care there's some Romans in front of them, they're going to shout at them. So that's me now essentially crushing my Roman enemy. All he's got left is his general and 1 unit of Praetorian cavalry, who were able to get past my chariots. There's my head hurler unit that's still at the back, trying to rejoin my army, and my warlord over there. Oh, okay, there's some Roman archers there, but they're gonna they're not going to do much. Someone's going to go after them. I can't remember who now, but someone will. As for the Parthians, as you can see, there's a lot of dead cataphracts. There's also a lot of dead Macedonian cavalry there, but and a few dead pikemen, but really there's some dead Cretan archers, but you know, the main body of his army is his phalanx, and most of them are still alive. And he has taken, like, just look at the carnage there. He basically, he tried to outmaneuver the pikes, but he got caught out, and that's what happened. So yeah, now it's just another phase of redeployment, so I'm gonna fast forward this a bit. Yeah, so Parthians are going to bring what's left of their army, and it's just gonna pull straight towards me, and as I move my army up to try and face off against this Macedonian force. And this is where the real battle, I would say, begins. That Roman player, I'm not trying to be mean to him, but he really did play that one out pretty poorly. He just left his cohorts in Testudo and let my men walk all over them. Now his cavalry did a good job, because I just did not manage my chariots at all, and that was my fault, and I have to say I did a really poor job with my chariots, and it's quite embarrassing. But I was able to just get the Romans off the field very quickly. Partly I was just infused by my hatred of all things Roman, so what can you say? So yeah, he's just going to form up his lovely wall of phalanxes right there, and he's not going to move. He's just going to be looking at me like, come up me, you barbarian, you dirty British. I can say that I am British. But yeah, I'm just going, so I'm now absolutely terrified, and that is literally how I was feeling. I was looking at this formation up with the camera being restricted. You know, I just was looking at this huge wall of these 21-foot sarissas, if you want the full term, the Greek name for them, and the height of them, and like, I can just see that wall of black there, and it's like, I have to deal with that. But fortunately, he doesn't have much archer support left, or cavalry. Now, if I can... sorry, these controls are janky, so he's going to send out his cavalry to deal with the slingers I have setting up on the flank. He's going to realise that actually this is somewhat of a bad move, as my warband have now broken off and are making pursuit. So he notices and pulls them back, and I now have my water lords. They start to move in, I realise, nope, they're away, so I try and stop them. But they still decide to start running straight into my warband because chariots are like that. So I just, at this point, we're both just trying to entice the other to come forward. I really don't want to have to try and move towards these if I don't have to. I want to force him out, but he is not going to move. My head hurlers standing there are not going to entice him, which was my plan. But when that didn't work, I start to redeploy again. As you can, those units you can see moving in the back are my chosen swordsmen. I'm bringing them up on one flank, and the entire plan was to just send my warband in to the front and get these round the side. Just distract them with my warband whilst these do the real work. Now a Roman is going to take what's left of his army and he's going to attempt to charge into these. Fortunately, these guys are going to take it. This is going to cost him the rest of his Praetorian cavalry. As you can see, they immediately rout at the sight of the much larger segment at the back. And I don't think he really got many kills out of that. He got a few. He certainly did kill a few of them, but not many, and I do this every time I watch this replay, and it's exactly what happened in the battle. As I saw them moving in, those cavalry there, I had ordered an attack over this side with my warlord and some warband. I see those cavalry, I immediately take all my micro there, and then don't realise that he is responding to my warlord chariots charging in, and yeah, they end up getting stuck on a phalanx and die for very little, if anything. I'm not. Yeah, it's like oh, there's what 4 or 5 dead Macedonians there, and pretty much all my chariots are now gone. Oh, like I've got a few that have rallied, but yeah, I'm now just really having a lot of issue. But now I'm going to see an opportunity here as he moves this unit of phalanx to try and face towards these the Parthians. So I'm going to send in a group of warband because these are cheap and expendable, and they're going to try and distract them, get their attention back over this way, so that the Parthians can do their thing. Shock, charge. That's exactly what they do, and we took this unit out because this is what we both knew we would have to do if we were to win this. Take these phalanxes one at a time. Now annoyingly, we were on different pages at this point, because I see those guys are gone, they're going to run from the field. I'm going to immediately see an opportunity to go after these. His cataphracts, and him, he didn't see that. So he kept them marching, he wanted to go after those companions, which his general was in. I was hoping he would come round the back. So I have my warband spearmen fight them, and I lose a fair few in that, and I didn't get what I want from it, but I do see an opportunity now that he's going after these again. But their attention is focused. I send some chosen swordsmen in behind. What's the smaller unit of... No, there's only 21 there, but they're going to do their work because they're in behind. I'm going to do a little bit and use the warband to just pin them in place. It was my entire strategy for dealing with these. Warband pin them, everything else gets behind. And at this point, all the Rome player has left is his those 21 units in his armoured generals, Legion Cav, whatever you want to call it. So here we see him charging into my warband, and they're going to take it. I missed a bit earlier, though, where... don't know how I managed to miss this, because at the same time as all the action took place on the flanks, I sent my head hurlers right up to his lines, and they got a few kills. You can see what we did there, really. That is the remnants of what my head hurlers did. They attacked a single unit of phalanx pikemen, and, you know, they're pretty decent units, so they did their job. So now the fight takes its place over here. He sends in a unit of his pikemen against 2 of my warbands, but I split them up and send these guys in behind whilst they chase after them. I'm going to try and employ the 1-2-3 tactic, but it doesn't work because these guys are free. He's got full management over them because they're his only unit. He can do some pretty nice manoeuvres with them. They break them, so I can't do the 1-2-3 trick of you attack from the back, you attack from the front as they go after them, you attack from the back as they try and turn them and pull them. No. Rip, I'm forgetting my own strategy for dealing with this. You attack from the back as they turn, you taunt them from the front, attack them from the back. As they turn to face those attacking from behind, you attack them from what was the ones in front, pulling back first and the back. And then those that you pull back, as soon as they turn around to fight those in front, you throw them back in again. And that should break most phalanx units, I find, but that's what I tried to do. But the Romans stopped me from doing that. But I've done it a few times on the others. But yeah. So we're starting to get some damage off, but at the same time I've lost a lot of men, and a lot of men have started to rout and then rally, so they're way out of the fight. As you can see, I've got my warband here, got some slingers over there that I really need to bring back into the fight. I got my druids that I'd mostly forgotten about. Although I'm going to save them and think, oh, I'm still in this. And that's really it. So these guys are now going to ignore the peltas because they're not going to be able to chase them, and they're going to go after the much bigger threat and go after these pikemen from behind. And the thing is, because of just how low quality these guys are, oh yeah, he managed to capture the Macedonian general and cut him off and kill him. But just look at this, is how much he thinks of my warband. He just doesn't care. Big unit of angry, like, topless men with shields and spears charging at you from behind. Nah, just keep walking. That was essentially what I did here, because his focus was on dealing with these cataphracts. He didn't really, I don't think he even cared about my warband. So here I finally send in my druids, give them some action, but I make a mistake here. I go after those in the middle, and because of his sectional deployment, he can come in with his bows behind, and they're going to scare off, they're going to rout these druids. The others are going to join up with their warband, and then I'm going to pull them out and try and bring them round. They're going to run wildly whilst my warband try and pin them, and there we go. Now I'll turn and try and get their attack off. But the warband are going to break at the very same moment, so I can't 1, 2, 3, and once again along comes that Roman general and ruins everything. So I now have just that one unit of slingers left under my control. But my ally has a very depleted unit of cataphracts with his general in. And okay, it's not so depleted, they're just wildly split apparently. Or joined together. But yeah, and then he's got another unit of cataphracts there. Now he's going to go after his peltas, get him off the field. I'm going to start moving up these reserved slingers. And a unit of warband are going to rally, but that doesn't happen until a bit later. So I'm just going to skip forward a bit now. So he's going to start moving his army around to try and face off against these these Parthians. I'm going to move my slingers up, and they're going to attempt to get some shots off on these guys. But for the most part, again, he doesn't really care about my guys. He's just going to keep moving and ignore them because they just can't get through that Macedonian armour. They're just not going to rack the kills up. So I'm going to just try and keep them behind. Now he's going to send in his reserves after them. And it was a sound plan until once again, look who comes to ruin it. And there's the warband that I was saying about. They've rallied and I've got them moving, but they are exhausted, so they're not going to be very useful. Not that they are in the first place. But yeah, they have some 2 volleys left, and at this moment I'm going to see the Romans coming up behind, trying to ruin everything again, after I ruined their fun in the early game. So I'm going to just tell these guys, stop chasing Macedonians, try and get a volley off on these. Which we're going to do, because they have a very fast rate of fire. But it's not going to do anything to them. Just going to ding on their armour, and that's going to be it. So I'm going to have them engage in melee, and hopefully just try and bring this guy down. Because that gets rid of their entire flexibility. But what I don't realise is these guys have started running. Out come the swords. Away go my slingers. The sight of those Macedonians just breaks them. And they rout. Now there's, what, 5 left in that unit of Roman generals. That general really annoyed me throughout this entire battle, if you can't tell. Especially after I was able to beat him so easily in the air. Beat his army, that is, early on. But then it only consisted of 4 real units. His Roman archers did nothing. And were driven from the field before they did anything useful. So it were just those legions who I encircled and killed off as well. So at this point, all I've got is his exhausted warband. What my ally has is those 3 depleted units of cataphracts. And he's just trying to get them as well as he can, but it's not going to go too great. And then, yep, the general is going to die. And lo and behold, look who comes along. Now look, 2 left. 2 of them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he, for some reason or another, he decided to put his phalanxes into loose formation. I'm not entirely sure why, but it seemed to work for him, so I can't criticise too much. So this is the final stages. Now at this point, I think all 4 of us knew what the result of this battle was going to be. Me and my ally, we basically said, right, let's just end this. So I take my exhausted warband and they're going to just charge, hoping that the Macedonians are going to see it, that and go after that, and the cataphracts can come in behind. But look, with only 2 of them, they drive them off, and it really infuriates me, because now look.
Victory and defeat are the edges of a single sword. This time, the
one person the Roman had left on his field was the general. And that's the endgame results. Thank you for watching. My name has been the Radams97.